Hey, good afternoon. Apostle Lewis here with you, and I want to share with you a vision I had and a word from the Lord I had on May of 2009 about a coming revival to America. And after hearing so many other words coming about 2020, I believe that this is now getting ready to start to take place. And you would go, well, look, we're in the middle of this chaos in America, but I believe that's exactly what God's going to do. And so the Lord spoke to me in this meeting. I was in DeLand, Florida during worship, and the Lord spoke to me. And he said to me, I am sending 3 angels to America. And I said to the Lord, who are they? And the Lord said to me, they are the angels of revolution, reformation, and restoration. Then I looked and I saw 3 huge angels coming out of the Atlantic Ocean. They were in single files. They came up out of the water, and they were one by one with their arms stretched out to their sides like this. These were huge, huge angels, and their arms covered Maine all the way to the Keys. And as they walked, the water began to drip off their arms, and it began to cover all of America, east to west. And they took a step onto North Carolina and a step onto Tennessee. And this is how big they were. Now, these angels were in single file, so they didn't come at the same time. The first one that came was the angel of revolution. And I believe we're seeing a birthing of revolution, but it's not the revolution of the radical left. It's a revolution of bringing us back to a sense of God, back to a sense of an awakening to who God is, and a revolution in the church, so to speak, because I think the church has been somewhat complacent in what's been going on. And we're going to have a reformation, and that's a reforming and a reestablishing. And, you know, you hear the left say, you'll hear radicals say stuff like, oh, you want to bring it back to slavery. No, we have been fighting in this country for 240 years or so to bring about this amazing ideal, which is all men are created equal. And I believe we're going to see a reformation, a reforming of that original intent to see freedom and equality come to all. And then we're going to have a restoration. You're going to see a restoration of America. And of course, this is going to go out throughout the other, but they were just one angel behind another angel, and they were huge. And so I don't know the timing between the angels, even though when one was on North Carolina, one was still waist deep in the ocean, and one you could start seeing his head come up. So they were pretty spread out. These angels had to be huge, a mile tall. I couldn't even fathom how tall they were just by the gait of their walk that they were taking. They were very huge. So I'm really excited about what's going on, because sometimes when chaos comes, it's because God is actually shaking the earth. You know, Hebrews chapter 12 says that he'll shake the earth, and it's not a shake the earth in wrath. It's a shake the earth because you are actually receiving the kingdom. It is very redemptive. It's very promising. It's God is not looking to destroy us all. He had more than enough reasons to do that. He says, now this yet once more indicates the removal of those things that are being shaken, as of the things that are made, that the things which cannot be shaken may remain. Therefore, since we are receiving a kingdom which cannot be shaken, let us have grace by which we may serve God acceptably with reverence and godly fear. For God is a consuming fire. See, I think that the shaking going on is not a shaking of anger, it's the shaking of answered prayer. As we've been asking God, do something, God, we need your help in our nation. And sometimes that the initial thing that you see is actually looks like chaos. In the 60s, there was this amazing shaking that went on. You had the hippie movement, the sex revolution, all that. And in that chaos and in those riots, you had one of the most powerful Jesus movement moves where people, I sat with a man last year in LA, him telling me stories of, when he was a part of the Jesus movement, and Lonnie Frisbee and all those guys. He said, you could be sitting at a restaurant telling a friend that he could receive Jesus, and the waitress would go, I want to receive him. It was like fish in a barrel. And I believe we're going to see something quite spectacular, and will exceed that than ever before. So I want you to be really hopeful. I want you to be really anchored in that. And I want you to be really, because the three angels of revolution, of reformation, and restoration are coming out of the water in the Atlantic Ocean and are going to step onto America. God bless you. I hope this ministers to you. Amen.